SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Governor's Cup Tuesday, maybe. We'll see if the weather cooperates. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. So glad that you guys are with us on this Tuesday. We've got a lot to get to, but we have to start here. So I screwed up. I made a mistake, and I have to correct that mistake. We gave away one pair of tickets to Zach Bryan in Starkville. There's another pair floating around here that I've got to give away, and I've got to do it today. I've got to do it right now. So let's do it. If you want to go to Zach Bryan in Starkville this weekend, be the 10th person to text right now the word orange. Something in the orange, one of his songs. The word orange, be texter number 10, and you will win 2 tickets to see Zach Bryan in Starkville on Saturday, 601-879-4395. 601-879-4395, texter number 10, and you will get to go to the concert on us here at Super Talk. So, hey, Dad, I will manage that, and you pay the bills.
I will do that. We are in the Pearl River Resort Studios, pearlriverresort.com. That's the place to find everything you're wanting to do this weekend. Great meals, great action, great live entertainment, great golf. If it ever warms up.
And we have a winner, so just
hold tight. We'll get to you.
Yeah.
Check it all out at pearlriverresort.com. C Spire text line open to you, as you know, because you've been texting the word orange to it. 601-879-4395. With C Spire, it's easier than ever to get all the devices you want in one move with the Ultimate Connect bundle. Right now, new and current customers can get a free phone, watch, and tablet, plus 100 gigs of data for just $90. That includes the new iPhone 17 and the Samsung Galaxy S26 for free with a free smartwatch and free tablet to go with it. So don't wait. There's more to see. There is more that's free. Visit cspire.com or stop by your local C Spire store today. C Spire, inspired by you.
It's one way to figure out how many people are listening to the show right there.
They'll jump in. Oh, we give stuff away. You're happy to text us, but we make incredibly good points, and you can't be bothered. Help us out here.
Davis says, cancel the darn game, and he adds a hottie toddy in there as well. Governor's Cup tonight. Yeah, weather does not look particularly good. I mean, maybe if they wait, they'll be able to play it. Mm-hmm. But you've got and look,
raining right now down there.
It's coming. Okay. It is coming, and apparently the worst of it's supposed to be here right at about 6 o'clock. But there is a window right at sunset and after where there won't be. So, I mean, maybe they do play baseball tonight.
The fact that it's a turf field kind of helps, right?
It's turf field?
Isn't it turf
Is that
now?
a new thing?
Isn't it not turf now? I thought they made some changes after that Ole Miss Southern game a few years ago. I don't know.
It's still a grass field.
Okay, well then people on the internet were wrong. You'll never believe it.
Right? It's still a grass field.
Playing surface.
Am I going nuts? I mean, I went to a Mud Monsters game last year.
September 4th. Nope, it is turf.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they did that after the
Matrix
season.
synthetic turf. This article is from the Mud Monsters website from September 4th of 2025.
Okay, so yes. I'm so glad that I'm not losing my mind because I went to Mud Monsters games and the field was grass. And so they changed it after the fact. Okay, good. I'm glad that I'm not losing my mind. Well, that does help. That does help.
Okay.
They're going to play baseball tonight.
They should play baseball tonight, yeah.
Just later.
Yeah, as long as there's no lightning, you should be okay. Somebody is texting us, concert. We didn't ask for A, the tickets are gone, and B, we asked you to text orange.
5 times. Concert.
6. They keep coming in.
Paul, by the way, Paul in Starkville. The
Congrats, Paul.
There.
Very nice.
Right in
great time.
Right in your backyard there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, I mean, so thrown off there because
I'm thrown off. I'm just like
2 or 3 people on a message board were like, "Well, as long as there's no lightning with the turf, it should be fine." And I was like, "Okay, there's turf." And you were adamant that there was no turf
because I went there and there was no turf.
There is now turf. So,
and then we couldn't watch the game that was played there a few weeks ago. Remember? Because that wasn't on any video feed of any kind. We couldn't watch.
Mm-hmm.
This one, apparently, you will be able to watch if it does happen.
That's been the case the past few years, I want to say, with the Governor's Cup, is they found a way to get this on, on Watch ESPN, SEC Network Plus, whatever you want to call it. So good, because I'd like to watch.
Yeah. Here's what we're not going to do, though. I'm going to thought police a little bit.
Oh.
We can't complain about the quality of the video feed if we get one.
Agreed.
We got one. We can't go from I can't believe there's no video feed to we got the video feed and it's not good enough. You can't have your cake and eat it too. They're putting the game on. You can watch it from anywhere.
This is not a stadium that's built like Dudy Noble and Swayze Field are for to have SEC Network kind of games every week where there's always going to be a broadcast. They're doing this kind of off the cuff one time a year. I agree. Just if it's a bad broadcast, just suck it up.
Yeah. We do, I think, as a people, we do too much complaining about the baseball broadcasts when, by and large, they're really good, at least in the SEC. And, yeah, Florida's announcers are homers because they've got to find people that are willing to do it for Florida games.
Yeah.
And no, they're not going to have nuanced knowledge of your baseball team. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you get to watch every game of your baseball team is still
it's worth it. Yeah.
It's fine. So I grow weary of that with baseball anyway. If you've got a football situation on your hand where they're mispronouncing player names and stuff like that, Mike Greenberg during the NFL draft saying a player was the son of a former NFL player and that's just not true. Like, those kind of things can't happen.
Right.
And we all make those mistakes. I make them all the time. But that's bad. But, the Florida announcers are homers. Who do you think they're hiring to do Florida baseball games on the stream?
This past weekend in Oxford, that play-by-play guy, I was like, are you wearing a Colonel Reb hat as you do the broadcast, sir? Now, the color guy was great. A lot of insight. Fantastic. I thought he was really, really good. The play-by-play guy, my goodness. Was it Eli Manning doing that? Who was it?
Somebody says, but we can complain to the ADs to not play at these stadiums anymore if you can't have a good broadcast. I mean, we had this conversation when Hadad was out, the larger, should these games continue where they are? I mean, I am firmly in I think it's good overall that, this game gets played somewhere else. Clemson and South Carolina do something really cool. I don't think Ole Miss and State should do this.
The home-away neutral?
Yeah, so they'll play a weekend non-conference series in one stadium. Like Friday will be in one stadium, Saturday will be in the next one, and then Sunday will be in a neutral site.
You kind of said it, though. It's a non-conference series, so you can do these kind of things. State and Ole Miss have to play 3 games home or away against each other. So this is all you can really do.
But
I would not mind. I don't know how you would do it, but I would not mind wherever the series is. The Governor's Cup is at the other stadium. So this year the series was in Oxford.
That's a pretty cool
idea. You play
idea.
a game in Starkville, but
I like that idea.
The problem, the one thing is I think both teams kind of like that they get the neutral site bump here, right? Like State beating Ole Miss in Starkville, it'd be great for your RPI, but it won't be as great if they beat them at a neutral site. it's better at the neutral site. So I don't know what to do there. Plus, there's just decades of tradition of playing this game. First in Jackson and now in Pearl. I don't think you want to get away from that.
I don't think you want to either. I do. It is my crusade. It's the thing that I talk about the most. I do think that they need to re-examine the cost of. I mean, if you want to sit, if a family of 4 wants to sit on the grass in the outfield, it's $130. I don't think that's acceptable. So that maybe that needs to be re-examined. I want this game to continue where it is, though.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So anyway, we'll talk about the game itself, though. We got a lineup from Ole Miss anyway. We know the pitching matchup. We will talk about that. Look at some regional projections and more with you. Sports Talk Mississippi just getting started. Storms coming through, but again, if they wait, if they feel like waiting, there's a chance that they are playing baseball just after dark tonight in Pearl. We'll be back in just a bit. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
From the Venable.
Let's go.
This is your new home for exclusive sports coverage here in the Magnolia State.
Sports Talk Mississippi
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Intro.
What a great song. I wish I played guitar.
Yeah.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Borkey and Hadad with you. So we got a lineup from Ole Miss. States will come out a little bit later. It's just how they do it. Ole Miss puts out their lineup a few hours before the game, and State's like 1 hour before the game. Ole Miss, there's a few omissions in this lineup, and not surprising, there were some injuries over the weekend, and I don't know if this is precaution, if it's a long-term thing. We will have to find out when the series comes, but I do think if they're still a little banged up, as important as the Governor's Cup is, caution is probably the right move. Here's the lineup. You'll know what I'm talking about. Decker at second, leading off. Becerra in right, batting second. Utermark in center field, batting third. Furness on first, batting fourth. Payno playing third base, again, because of injuries. That's how this works. Jones in left. Randall at short. Reuter going to catch, and Pacella is going to DH tonight. So, obviously, no Federico, no Foley because of what happened in the Georgia series. So, therefore, you have to move Utermark into the outfield. You have to have Payno and Randall on the field. Reuter is going to catch. It's
a lot of changes.
A lot of changes because of those, and Ole Miss needs those guys back. Look, they may score 100 runs tonight. This lineup, without especially Federico in it, with the way he's been playing lately, looks a lot different than the one that they trotted out there in Game 1 of the Georgia series. It's those two guys, they missed them, and so they need to get them back in a hurry, but obviously won't be playing tonight, and that's not ideal for Ole Miss. Obviously, breaking news: more than 11, losing two starters is not ideal. Again, the talking point after the series was not long-term. They're banged up. It's not anything to be overly concerned about, but not in the lineup tonight, and that does harm this team tonight.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you can't, miss guys like that, and it's not good. I'll just put it that way. I mean, I'm not, again, like you said, it's not exactly breaking news that starters not being in your starting lineup, It's a bad thing. It's called a starting lineup for a reason. That's where the starters go. So for the Rebels, that's the big blow. We'll see what Mississippi State's starting lineup looks like. Probably around 5 o'clock. We'll probably start off the 5 o'clock hour learning who the Bulldogs are going to play tonight. We do know that pitching matchup, though, as you alluded to earlier.
Yes, the pitching matchup tonight, Owen Kelly, as we were told yesterday, he's 2-1 with a 3.04 ERA. And you have him opposite Brendan Sweeney, who's got a 0-0 record with a 6.46 ERA.
Yeah, with Sweeney, he's only started one game this year. That was at Southern Mississippi, and he did not have a great start there. In an inning and two-thirds, gave up 4 runs on 3 hits. 3 of them were earned, a couple of walks, a couple of doubles, had that big home run that he gave up. And then the last time we saw Brendan Sweeney, he was not very good as well. Pitched a third of an inning against Georgia, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, a couple of home runs there, and they had to pull him out of the game. So, if you listen to what O'Connor said with us yesterday on the show, he talked about it. He said, we got to find guys who can go because we went through so many guys this weekend. And, I'm sure LSU is going through a similar situation over in their non-conference game today. They just pitched a lot of guys in that series. So, Billingsley pitched on Friday and Sunday, so probably couldn't come back. Pitzer, I don't believe that Pitzer pitched, but he was not good last week when State threw him out there against Memphis and tried to see if he could maybe take over this midweek role. He wasn't very good, and so they don't want to do that again. Sweeney's a big, powerful right-handed pitcher, so we'll see how he matches up with this Ole Miss lineup. But should be an interesting game. This stadium, notoriously not a big home run park, and these two teams have been home run hitting teams all year long. So we'll see how that affects things. Who can manufacture some runs? Maybe with the winner of this game.
Yeah, what was it? 9 home runs for Ole Miss over the weekend against Georgia.
I think State had 6.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Owen Kelly has, for what it's worth, in the last 9 innings pitched, has only given up 2 runs and only 7 hits in his last 9 innings. But here's the caveat. The opponents are Austin Peay, Memphis, Alcorn State, Southern Miss, and Murray State.
Yeah.
But he has been effective, has the transfer from St. Louis. Different kind of lineup than the ones that he's seen over the last few outings. But, you can only pitch against who you're pitching against. And so far, lately, he's been quite good.
Yeah. Been a good pitcher for the Rebels this year. And this is Bianco said it. He talked about that. I think they're going to throw a bunch of guys. I don't know about O'Connor, though. Like, how many guys do you have? How many guys do you feel that you can throw out there for 2 innings?
And more importantly, how many guys do you want to throw out there?
Big series this weekend, obviously, coming up. Yeah. But this is a big game for Mississippi State and for Ole Miss. It's very possible these two teams will flip-flop in the RPI if whoever wins, whoever loses. It's a good win. It's not a bad loss, but it's enough of a loss that these two teams could flip-flop in the RPI. I'm sure we're going to get into the regional projections a little later in the show.
We got 2 of them that we'll go through. This is one of those Governor's Cups, Hadad.
It's got some juice. It's got some meaning.
It's got postseason meaning. Now, of course, every fan base wants to win. Although my favorite part about the Governor's Cup is it matters when you win.
Right.
But if you lose, it's, who cares? It's a midweek game. It cracks me up. But this one has some serious postseason implications. Ole Miss and State, as we'll go through in these regional projections, very close to each other. Very, very close to each other. And so a game like this, one game is not the difference between hosting or not hosting, but this game with 2 teams that are as close to each other as they are in the hosting conversation, this one matters a whole heck of a lot for postseason standing.
Yeah. Ole Miss currently 11 in the RPI, State 15 in the RPI. You could see a scenario where you wake up tomorrow and it's State's 13th and Ole Miss is 14th. Something like that. And obviously with the weekend coming up, when you have a game like this and you think about your week, right? Normally you think about a midweek game. You think, okay, you're going to win that, then you got to go 2-1 on the weekend. That would be a great week, right? If you go 3-1.
Yeah.
Well, if you lose here, which there's a strong somebody is going to lose, right? One of these 2 teams is going to lose. To have a 3-1 week, you've got to have to sweep on the road. Now, State's done that twice this year, but I don't necessarily know that I would predict it against Texas. And for Ole Miss going to Arkansas, I mean, Arkansas right now they're battling. They would like to get back into the hosting discussion if they could, and taking a series from Ole Miss would be a big step for that. So a 3-1 week can only happen realistically, I think, if you win this game.
Tend to agree with you. We gotten a few messages. Is the game still on? Is the game still on? As far as we know. As far as we know. And I mean, I'm just looking at the weather app. I know it's not super reliable at times, but it looks like, I mean, we're getting some weather coming through the area, but it should clear out at some point this evening.
Yeah.
I mean, the chance of rain really dramatically drops off right after 6 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So, they get the field dried up and the lightning gets out of the area, and there appears to be, from looking at a weather app and not talking to an actual weather expert, a window to play baseball maybe just a little bit later tonight than originally anticipated. I mean, you want to get this game in. The host clearly wants to get this game in, as you can imagine. And, I mean, the benefits for a win here are really strong. And so they're going to try. I think they're going to try to play baseball tonight. Hopefully they do. I mean, I want to see this. I think there's a lot to be gained here in this game, and of course you get the trophy and do all that stuff, the rivalry thing. I mean, if you're Ole Miss going 0-4 against State, that's significant. And if you win this one, you can get a little pride back after getting swept at home.
Of course, don't forget the biggest part about all this is my bet with Richard. How's it going to go? This will play a huge role in deciding the winner.
What is the current?
We are tied.
Wow.
Think about where I was when
dead.
When State lost at the hump, and I was like,
dead.
Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. And thanks to Brian O'Connor and Chris James getting that win in Oxford obviously helped a lot. But we are now tied. There are 5 points remaining. So whoever gets 3 of them will win this bet. So if whoever wins the Governor's Cup only needs 1 softball game. Whoever loses the Governor's Cup got a sweep in softball.
We will look at the regional projections. They look good. They look good, and we'll tell you what they say when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio. Stick with us.
From theSeabrook.com.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and always live on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station.
Sports Talk Mississippi back with you here on a rainy day across the state of Mississippi. Here in Starkville, been raining basically since about 9 a.m. And it doesn't look like it's going to stop this week. If I look at the forecast, it's going to be like if you see a couple of ducks and maybe a couple of cats walking 2 by 2, you might have an idea of what's going on. But how does that affect tonight's game? We are, as far as we know, a lot of you guys are coming in on the C Spire text line and asking us. As far as we know, all systems are still go for tonight in Pearl at the Governor's Cup between Mississippi State and Ole Miss. A game that, as Borkey said earlier, Mississippi State got all 3 games in Oxford. Rebels looking to salvage something out of this rivalry this year. Mississippi State looking to get the 4-0, bring the Governor's Cup back to Starkville. Of course, Ole Miss winning that game a season ago with a comeback win in the 9th inning. One of the last games Chris Lemonis coached for Mississippi State before the decision to move on from him and bring Justin Parker in as the interim. A game that, with these two teams as close as they are in the RPI standings, we're going to talk about these bracket predictions a little later in the show, but right now, State and Ole Miss are both on the right side of the hosting discussion. A loss doesn't the loser of this game isn't going to be out of that, but the winner is going to feel a lot better about where they sit, Borky, when we get talking about hosting in a few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I do wonder, like, if you're Ole Miss and you win, do you do the trophy thing?
Yeah, of course you win. Yeah, okay. What are we doing?
It feels weird, though. It's like, you know how hockey teams, if they win their conference, won't touch the trophy?
Right, but this is different.
This is different.
The winner of this game gets this trophy. You absolutely go out on the field, take the picture, and enjoy the trophy.
Do you feel weird about that, though? So you played the team 4 times, you beat them once, and you're holding a trophy in your hands?
Well, because this is the only game that's for the trophy. Every other game is not for the trophy.
Yeah, I understand that.
No,
I would feel weird holding the trophy.
You're overthinking things, in my opinion.
I don't know.
I absolutely am sure that you are.
Because I can't look at that game independently of the other 3. Mm-hmm. It's just like the team swept you in your ballpark and you beat them once and you're holding a trophy. It's like, okay. Like, yeah, you take the pictures and all that to appease the hosts of the game, but then you're
just too cool for school, Borky.
It's not about being cool.
This is a trophy game. So let me ask you this.
I mean, so is the Magnolia Bowl. So that's a dumb trophy, too.
It's kind of different because it would be played first. But let's just say that we got the ultimate luck, and we got Mississippi State versus Ole Miss in the college football playoff, right? State, let's say Ole Miss had won the Egg Bowl, right? But State wins the playoff game. Does Ole Miss not spend the whole offseason with the Egg Bowl trophy?
It's different, though, because you didn't play multiple times.
But I can't. This is a game that has been played for decades.
I'm not saying leave the trophy on. I'm not doing that. It's just you take the picture
civil
and
conflict
stuff.
Here, yeah.
You take the pictures and you do all that, but I wouldn't. Like, you just throw it on the bus and drive home and focus on bigger things.
I mean, it's part of the game, though. It's part of the promotion of the game is we take this picture with the trophy.
And yes, you take the picture.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody is with me on this one. Like,
I don't care if everybody's with you.
Yeah. Although there's one guy that says, as an Ole Miss fan, don't worry about it, Borky. We'll see. Ole Miss has been playing a lot better baseball last weekend.
They have been. Just 2 guys being out, that stinks. But sorry, I'm not going to let the text line influence. The trophy doesn't move me. You won the Governor's Cup. They swept you in your ballpark. Wow.
Michael Borkey, over the last 2 weeks, has said that the Governor's Cup, completely meaningless.
That's not what I said.
That Lane Kiffin never won an important game at Ole Miss.
Oh, God.
That's been your last 5 shows.
Now you're just mischaracterizing me. No, it's when you get swept at home. I feel like the trophy game doesn't really. It's just kind of like.
But at the same time, it's going to be like, well, you beat this team 3 times at home. Why couldn't you beat them at a neutral site? You had half the crowd. Why couldn't you beat them there? I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it.
You did win 3 of the 4 attempts.
Well, you did win 3 out of the 4, but you didn't win them all, and you didn't win the one that gets you the trophy. I disagree with you on this one. Nothing new there, though.
Somebody says, I'm an Ole Miss fan, but if we won the Egg Bowl and they beat us in a playoff game, we're putting the Egg Bowl in a closet.
Where's the trophy? They go to the next year, State wins it, and it's like covered in cobwebs, like just dusty as hell.
I mean, honestly, hey, Dad, in your scenario, I would not parade the Egg Bowl trophy around.
I wouldn't do an Egg Bowl, yeah, because you'd have State fans who feel like, well,
see,
you take it, but that's a little different.
A little different
because you're talking about a game that was played in the postseason. Versus, this is another regular season game. It's been on the schedule. You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, but it's like cute trophy swept you in your own ballpark.
Yeah. Tim and McGee says, Michael, I've been an Ole Miss fan for over 60 years. We'll take them where we can get them.
Another one. I'm an Ole Miss fan. I agree with Borkey. 1-3 against the arch rival while getting swept at home is nothing to be proud of. Again.
Borkey, that's your burner texter.
That's not my burner texter.
That's Michael Borkey.
I did my burner Facebook account got deleted. Hail State Diamond.
Did I tell you about? I learned yesterday.
There's a new one already back.
I learned yesterday. You can see where these pages originate from. Did I tell you? Oh yeah.
Where was it from though?
Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. Mississippi State baseball. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, I don't know this answer. When was the last time a team went 4-0 in the?
State did it in 19. 19.
Okay, So been a while.
Yeah, State swept in Oxford. State swept the series up there and then won the Governor's Cup. So 2019. Yeah, 2021, State lost a game in Starkville but won the Governor's Cup. 22, State, that was one of the splits. Yeah. State won the series 2-1, but Ole Miss won the Governor's Cup. 23, State went 3-1. 24 last year was another split. And now this year, State has at least won all 4 games, but they could lose the Governor's Cup tonight.
Mm-hmm. All 3 games, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know this answer. This was before my time, I believe, as well. The Mayor's Trophy to Governor's Cup. When did that?
I don't know the exact year, but it's whenever it moved from Smith-Wills Stadium to Trustmark Park. So whenever that is, I'm sure a quick Wikipedia search could tell us that.
But didn't your college professors tell you that anybody can edit Wikipedia?
Yes, you're not wrong, but I'm trying to see if it
little did those professors either know or they were gaslighting.
Let's see
Wikipedia
here.
has a sources cited section at the bottom of every page that you can go find.
2007 is the year that it became the Governor's Cup. Who's the home team tonight? Do we know? Off the top of our heads?
Off the top of my head, I do not know.
Okay. Trying to remember who it was last year.
No, you have not changed my mind. I think that you take the picture, you hold it, and I think your Egg Bowl comparison's the wrong one. If you win the Egg Bowl, but they beat you in the playoff, they got the better win.
They do have the better win, but this is a regular season game though, and it is a neutral site game. It's for the fans more than anything else. You want to have that moment out on the field with your fans cheering as you hold up the Governor's Cup.
So he said just a screenshot of the weather incoming and said, God said, save the arms.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. I mean, State's the home team tonight, apparently.
Okay. But yeah, that does not look good at all. But again, it should move out in time. If they really want to get weird and play some late-night baseball, probably reduce the crowd size some, unfortunately.
I don't think that either coach would be up for like a 9 o'clock first pitch. Like, you got a big weekend ahead. You need to keep your guys on some sort of schedule. Nobody wants to be getting back home tonight at 1, 2 in the morning. Or that would be later than that now that I think about it. It'd be like a 3-hour game, midnight, probably be like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't want that.
Especially from the Ole Miss perspective, you've got 2 regulars out of your lineup because of injury, and you had to play 23 innings on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So it might just, from a health perspective, it might just be better to, let Mother Nature do her thing and get ready to go to Fayetteville this weekend.
Yeah, and Austin for Mississippi State. I just don't know. We'll see. We're going to find out as we go along here. One way or the other, I feel like before the end of this show, we will know. I think when we get to 5 o'clock, 5:30, they're going to have to make some sort of command decision because people are coming in. You don't want them just sitting in the stands. You don't want to deal with that. So just you got to about 5:30, it's going to be like yay or nay. Yeah, we're playing or we don't.
And yeah, I'm with you. They should make that announcement hopefully soon because I saw on Twitter that there are people, believe it or not, that do travel from out of town. I saw somebody from Starkville was like, hey, help me out, guys. I need to know if I need to get in the car and drive all the way to Jackson for this thing.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point. There are people right now who would be like, hey, it's time to go. Mm-hmm. Got to get going, and they got to make that decision.
I mean, they could just listen to us on the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, we would appreciate that. But yeah.
We'll look at some regional projections when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
From the Venable... You can be a part of Sports Talk Mississippi. 888-808-8637 on Super Talk Mississippi.
Stormy says game starts on time, no rain delays. It's all going north of Pearl. I hope that you are correct. That'd be great if everything went off without a hitch. Looks ominous around here, but I also don't sit in Pearl right now. Yeah. So that certainly helps. All right. Baseball America's field of 64 regional projections, a lot of good. In fact, Baseball America thinks all three from the state of Mississippi are hosting as of right now. Let's quickly go through the ones that don't involve Mississippi schools. First, UCLA, the number 1 overall seed, opposite Florida State, with Oklahoma as the number 17 seed, the 2. So Oklahoma on the fringe of hosting.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, the 3 seed out in UCLA in Westwood.
Ooh, don't love that if you're UCLA. Georgia Tech, the number 2 overall seed, opposite Alabama. Texas, the number 3 overall seed, opposite Southern Miss. So the Golden Eagles get a sweep and then a road series win, and they're back in the hosting, back on the right side of the hosting bubble with Florida as their 2, UTSA and Yale in the Hattiesburg Regional.
Okay.
I mean, if Southern Miss is hosting, go ahead. I mean, Ostrander said it yesterday. You're getting an SEC team as your 2. Just accept it.
Whatever Florida did the weekend before, keep an eye on that. Because they go opposite every weekend. So if they had a bad weekend, not good for Southern Miss. But if they had a good weekend, good news.
North Carolina, the number 4 overall seed, with Tennessee as their 2, opposite Oxford. Ole Miss actually improved in both regional projections. They went from 14 last week.
Just weird, right?
It just shows you their metrics are so good.
But it's just weird that they could lose 2 out of 3 and move up in the seeding line.
Georgia's so good that you don't get punished by losing 2 of 3 to them. Boston College, the 2, UAB and Oral Roberts in the Oxford Regional. So again, Ole Miss, last week it was a missed opportunity, but you didn't get hurt. You just have to add the subsequent number of wins over the next few weeks. And it's not like a crazy amount. You just have to take care of business. And you will be hosting. Your metric, strength of schedule, all that are just good enough. Simply put, they're just good enough. Auburn, the number 5 overall seed, opposite Nebraska, the number 12. They put 21,000 people over 3 games in their stadium this past weekend. You love to see it. You love to see the sport growing in other places.
I do, but at the same time,
I know, right?
It's kind of funny.
But good for them. I mean, that's
good
awesome.
for them. Yeah.
Texas A&M, the number 6 overall, opposite Starkville. Mississippi State, the number 11, so improved rather dramatically, did Mississippi State with another sweep. With West Virginia, the 2, Michigan, and SEMO in that regional.
SEMO was in the 2016 Starkville regional, so it would be a return trip for them.
SEMO, they also went to, they were in
Oxford not long ago, right? Yeah.
Good weekends overall, and Baseball America has them improving. I'll go through the rest of it, and then we'll switch over to D1. Georgia, the number 7 overall seed, with Miami as their 2. Opposite Oregon State, the number 10 overall, with Arkansas as their 2. How about that? Arkansas going into the season, easy schedule, you thought?
I thought they would be the SEC champions, and they are not close to that right now.
Not close at all. UC Santa Barbara and San Diego State in there as well. Coastal Carolina, the number 8 overall seed, opposite Kansas, with Oregon and Miami of Ohio and Wright State in that regional for what it's worth. Kansas just keeps shooting up. They just keep shooting up this board. They keep winning baseball games, and there you go.
3 Mississippi schools. No chance for an Oxford Starkville Super Regional, Oxford Hattiesburg, Starkville Hattiesburg, but I think we would take a 3 Mississippi school regional weekend here in the state of Mississippi. Yeah. As it stands, Florida is so inconsistent. I would think all 3 teams. I think the team that has the toughest regional of those 3 is Ole Miss, because Boston College has been pretty good this year. UAB has been pretty good this year. They pounded Alabama a few weeks ago. That would be one to watch out for. I just don't believe in Florida. West Virginia, I can't get West Virginia losing 23-1 to Pitt out of my mind. That happened last week, and I just can't get it out of my mind. So that being said, if that regional were to hold up, Brandon Walker could finally get one over on Dave Portnoy. Mississippi State could eliminate Michigan, and he could finally have that. So
Somebody says, we'll get to D1 in the next hour. Somebody says, just came into Rankin County on 25, he says. There's a little rain and lightning flashes. Yeah, looking at the radar right now, there's a tornado watch in the area already. Not ideal. As you can imagine, lightning changes things pretty dramatically. And the previous texter was correct that most of the heavy stuff is going to be north of Pearl, but there is still some weather coming through.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for some time now.
But lightning and all that also creates a pretty significant issue. But, I mean, if you made me bet right now, they're playing baseball.
We shall see. All right, when we come back, we're supposed to be joined by Andrea Patterson. She is the director of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, which will be celebrating its 30th anniversary. So we're going to talk about all the cool stuff going on at the Hall of Fame. We'll do that when we come back. After that, we'll get back to the brackets. The D1 baseball projections are out as well. We'll talk about all that. Sports Talk Mississippi, about to start the 4 o'clock hour with you when we come back.
Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
We'll tell you more about Ag Up and what they've got going on in just a minute, because what's up on Sports Talk Mississippi right now? When guests normally join us, they do it on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Sometimes they just show up, and we just have them here live in the studio, and that's what we've got right now with Andrea Patterson from the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, about to celebrate its 30th anniversary. And Andrea, congratulations on this incredible event, this incredible place that we all love so much. And I mean, it really the history of the state of Mississippi in sports is something that I feel like those of us who live here, we know all about it. Those of us who don't, they need to know more about it, and that's where your building comes in.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, and thank you so much for the kind words. We are thrilled to be celebrating 30 years. The museum opened its doors in 1996 with that mission, exactly like you just said, to promote, preserve, and protect Mississippi's rich sports history. It's a story we tell every day, and it's an exciting one. You know, so often when Mississippi gets a bad rap for so many things, sports is not one of them. So we get to tell the great stories.
It's really awesome, too, because I grew up out of state. I'm not from here originally, although I feel old now. I've been here, my goodness.
You are old, Borkey. Don't make fool you.
I'm on year 17, or about to be on year 17 of living here. There is such a rich sports history, a story that is undertold from a nationwide perspective, and then here locally as well. I mean, I'm still learning things every single day about just how unbelievably rich and talented the state is. And it's not just football. We're not just a football state. We're not just a baseball state. It is unbelievable the depth of impact that sports in Mississippi have had across the country.
Yeah, it really is. So you mentioned football. So at one point when at point of retirement, the leading rusher in the NFL, the leading receiver, and the leading passer were all from the state of Mississippi.
That's insane when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one of my favorite stories to tell, we actually have an exhibit in the museum that highlights the Olympics. And Mississippi has been represented in every Summer Olympics since the 1920s. Over 100 years, there have been Mississippi athletes competing on an international stage, and most of the time they come home with medals. And that's in so many different sports, from track and field to basketball to women's basketball. I mean, you think about the Gillum sisters. I mean, there's just so many great stories to tell.
When you think about the Hall of Fame, it's a physical structure, and people can go visit it. How does the Hall of Fame get the message of Mississippi State sports out beyond those who come through the door and visit the institution?
Well, we try to have a pretty strong online presence. We house all of our information about every Hall of Famer on our website, which is a really unique database to be able to go to our website and see over 350 athletes and actually see their story, what year they were inducted, where they came from. All of that lives on our website. So it's a really unique resource. And then once you come into the museum, you get to see on touchscreen kiosks, we actually have videos and interviews from almost all of our Hall of Famers themselves. So they tell their stories. It's not just looking at cases and displays. It's actually hearing from them what it was like the first time they took the mound, or what it was like when they first got the call they were going to be a head coach. And just it makes it such a unique experience to hear it from them.
And if you've been not so recently, if you went on a field trip or whatever, it's changed a lot. You guys just are fresh off of a pretty substantial facelift.
Yes, we just completed a $4 million building renovation that completely enhanced our visitor experience. So when you came, from 1996 until about 3 years ago, it was very iconic to pull up and see the large structures, and there's a football and a basketball and a baseball. And so sadly, that had become a home for the birds, and they were no longer structurally sound. We had to take those down. I've had a lot of questions. People like, why did you take them down? Well, progress had to move forward, and so we have completely renovated the facade of the building. We have a gorgeous, large, giant sculptured star that is in partnership with Visit Mississippi. It's a real focal point for our tourist travelers to be able to stand outside the Hall of Fame by our star and take a picture and post it on their social media accounts. Then when you walk
in my case, getting a 6-year-old to stop climbing on it the last time we went there.
Everybody wants to climb on the star. We're okay with it. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. And then when you walk in the front door, the lobby is completely reimagined and reconfigured so that it's wide open. You have more cases, more displays as soon as you walk in the door, as well as a revamped ticket booth and gift shop experience.
So tomorrow night at the Hall of Fame will be the event, the celebration of the 30th anniversary. Starts at 5:00 p.m. You'll be there, obviously. Some of the Hall of Fame inductees will be there. There'll be a lot of people from the nearby community. Tell us a little bit more about this event and what all is going to be happening tomorrow night at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we're so excited just to open the doors and have people come back and experience our newly renovated museum. Like you mentioned, we're expecting probably anywhere from 30 to 35 Hall of Famers to attend, and they're going to get to see the new space and visit with many of our community supporters. The Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame is a 501c3 nonprofit, so a lot of people don't realize that, like many of our other institutions in the state, there are state agencies and state museums that are funded through the state. We are not one of those. We survive off of the partnerships across our community. So that's our corporate sponsors, and it's our donors, it's our membership program. And so this is really about celebrating the community that supported us across the state for the past 30 years.
And this is a pretty strong class you guys are going to be inducting this year, including, you mentioned the Olympics. Brittany Reese, a 7-time world champion, a gold medalist. Michael Haddox, Mississippi State All-American. So was Glenn Collins, former All-SEC from Ole Miss, Lewis Guy. This is a really strong class you guys are putting in. But, of course, here in the state of Mississippi, I feel like all of our classes are going to be pretty strong. We got a lot to choose from.
You're right. It's actually an incredible process to get to watch the selection committee go through the list of people who are eligible and available to be selected. There's over 200 people on the waiting list just to get into the Hall of Fame. So you have people like Brittany Reese, who's actually a first ballot Hall of Famer in her first year of eligibility.
As she should be, yes.
Yeah. And then there's people who, like Lewis Guy, have been sitting on that list waiting for their day for a while.
Or Brian Hadad, who's going to,
I was going to make a Richard joke. I was going to make a Richard joke about him being number 201. I had it locked in the chamber, and then Borkey had to one-up me there.
I'm going to keep nominating you, so buckle up, buddy.
Well, I was going to ask, but at the end of this, is there ever a chance a sports radio exhibit could make its appearance there?
We already have it. Let me tell you. We are so proud of our broadcasters. We've got Jack Crystal in the Hall of Fame.
Way ahead of me.
We've got, sports writers, Rick, the dynasty that is the Clevelands. We have Rick and his father Ace are in there. We have sports information directors. No one is excluded. We inducted an architect in Janet Marie Smith with her baseball architect prowess. And then we have a bass fisherman, a skeet shooter. Our selection committee looks at diversity, and it looks at making sure we're reaching all of the unique ways that sports are impacted in our state.
If Borkey and I ever get in, we demand full wax statues of us at the broadcast.
And it's got no Ronaldo situation either.
No, it's got to look like me, Andrea. It's got to look like me as best you can.
We can get on that.
I'm sure you will.
That's the first thing she's going to do when she leaves here.
As soon as she leaves, she's just like, got to get that taken care of. 30 years of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. What are the next 30 years going to look like?
I think there's so much left that we can continue to improve on. I think about when I had the opportunity to listen to some of the recordings of interviews that were done in the early 90s before the doors opened, and there's some B-roll, and I heard Michael Rubenstein talk about he was talking to Boo Ferris, and he said, we're using these videos that your story is forever at the Hall of Fame, and you're telling it. And it just took me back to this. I mean, this is why we're doing it, and this is why we're going to continue to do it for the next 30 years for the generations to come that may have never heard the name Boo Ferris, and we have to be there to tell that story.
So tomorrow night, 5 o'clock is the start time through 7 o'clock. Is this, if you want to come, what's the deal?
We'd love to have anyone from the surrounding areas across the state join us at the museum tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Tickets are still on sale on our website or at the door. Just come on in. We're going to have a couple people speaking, including our Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann is going to be joining us. We will have some people, former Hall of Famers as well, speaking, such as Rick himself will get to say a few words. And really, we're just going to be exploring the museum, visiting with those Hall of Famers who are coming in. So come by whenever you can. We hope it's going to be a great night.
And then later this year as well, right? The inductees get formally inducted if you want to plan something ahead of time. When is that?
Yes, that's going to be July 31st and August 1st. It's a large fundraising weekend for us, and we really spend the entire weekend celebrating these 7 inductees who are going in, their families, their friends, their people, their colleagues, the people they've impacted in their career, and it's going to be a great weekend. So save the date for that. Tickets are already on sale. It's July 31st and August 1st.
Andrew, really appreciate you coming by and talking to us about the Hall of Fame. We know we love to come out there every year with the Connerly, and we enjoy that. And, of course, we have the Ferris Trophy will be coming up pretty soon as well. So always great to celebrate Mississippi sports and our awesome athletes. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Andrea Patterson, Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Come check out that event if you're in the Jackson area tomorrow night. You will have a great time. You get to see some of our awesome athletes here across the state of Mississippi. When we come back, we got to get back into these regional projections. Mississippi State, Southern Mississippi, Ole Miss. Who's going where? Who's hosting who? We'll talk all about that when we come back at Sports Talk Mississippi with you on a Tuesday.
In the Venable Glass.
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Now, back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
Doesn't get any better than this.
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, Michael Borkey in an empty chair with you.
We were talking some business out there. We're trying to make some money for this company.
You were late by 11 seconds.
If you're not watching, you didn't know I was late.
No idea. I wanted the whole state to know.
Yeah, it is
making money.
I'm sure we're trying to.
Can I get looped in on the deal? I need some money.
No, this is a thunder and lightning deal, my friend.
I bought too many iced coffees at the Zurich.
This is what you need to do. I'm going to give you a money making idea right here, okay? Because this is what I do on my podcast. You know how we have the Farm Bureau guest line here on Sports Talk Mississippi. I have a guest line on Thunder and Lightning, and you need to get some interviews to do this. But you sell that guest line. I have a local business. They present all of my interviews.
You know, I like to focus on the radio show. 12 stations, 82 counties.
I get that, but we already have that sold. They have the C Spire text line.
601-879-4395.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look outside right now, wherever you are in the state of Mississippi, it's probably raining. What does that mean? It means the grass is out there. It's sucking up that water. It's going to grow on you.
Yeah, it is. A lot.
You got to be prepared. And the best way to prepare is with a trip to Ag Up and check out their incredible selection of John Deere mowers and tractors. Right now, you get a John Deere 3025E with a loader for only $365 a month, and that's 0% financing for 84 months. 0% financing until 2033. Just put it to you like that. That's a great deal, but it will not last. Don't wait too long. There are 15 AgUp locations around the state of Mississippi. Go check one of them out or visit them online, agup.com. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? We just talked to Andrea Patterson from the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. If you missed that interview or any of our interviews here on Sports Talk, you can always subscribe to the podcast. But right now, we've got to get back into some baseball bracketology. We talked about the Baseball America one. Let's look over at D1, Borkey, and we'll start kind of similar. No surprise. UCLA, the number 1 overall seed in their projected field of 64, and they are paired with the Hattiesburg Regional. Southern Mississippi, the 16 seed. Number 2 seed in their regional is Oklahoma, so an SEC team. Christian Ostrander still telling the truth. Stop him when he starts telling lies. So the Golden Eagles are the 16 seed in the bracketology, the projections for D1.
So right there on the edge for D1, that's why we keep talking about what we keep talking about. Southern Miss has got to start, I mean, they already have sweeps, obviously. They have got to start sweeping to close the season out. You cannot take losses against sub-100 RPI teams, and they've got, a couple of teams at the bottom of the Sun Belt coming up on their schedule, and those have to turn into sweeps, or else the metrics don't love when you play bad teams, especially 3 times in a weekend, and especially if you lose to them.
Got to win those games, no question about it. The 2 seed Georgia Tech, they are in the Atlanta Regional. Vanderbilt is the 3 seed there. They are paired with Tallahassee, the Florida State Regional. So, we always see these SEC Super Regionals. Here's an ACC one if chalk holds. They have Alabama in Tallahassee as a 2 seed, so Alabama not hosting. Texas is the 3 seed. No changes there. Florida as the 14 seed. I have trouble buying that.
I don't love that pick
I have trouble buying that. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Florida's going to host. They're too inconsistent.
Find somebody that loves you the way the D1 guys love Florida this
Well, they
season.
finally got LSU out, so we can't say too much. The 4 seed, North Carolina. That's the Chapel Hill Regional. That is paired with the 13 seed, the Starkville Regional. Mississippi State, Oregon, Oklahoma State, and Wright State.
That's
Wright,
a tough one.
Real quick, just so you know, Wright is not a state, just so you know. Oregon's a good team. Oklahoma State, a traditional power. That would be there's some big-name programs there for sure in Starkville. The College Station Regional.
Do you know where Wright State University is?
Michigan.
That's a good guess. It's in Greene County, Ohio.
I thought it was in Michigan. I'm thinking of Wayne State, I think.
Yeah. It's a Dayton address.
I got to make sure I'm right. Wayne State. It isn't. I was thinking of Wayne State. There you go. The 5 seeds, as I said, College Station, Texas A&M. They're paired with the 12 seed Lincoln, Nebraska. The Nebraska Regional. That's where Arkansas is, according to D1 Baseball. I'll just be completely and totally honest with you. I would love Arkansas's chances to get out of that regional with their pitching. Would absolutely think they would win that regional. The not good news here for some. The number 6 seed are the Georgia Bulldogs, the Athens, Georgia Regional. That is paired with the Oxford Regional. So just coming off of taking 2 out of 3, Georgia paired with Ole Miss here. USC, the Southern California one, are the number 2 seed in the Oxford Regional, along with Liberty and Lamar.
I'm a little surprised to see Ole Miss as the 11. I mean, moving up big.
They
in
moved
D1s
up
after losing 2 of 3.
That's one of those things where it's just like, I want to see the math. Let me see the math on that.
Yeah.
I don't quite get it.
And we'll, of course, reach out to the D1 guys and have them on.
They'll have answers, yeah.
Again, Ole Miss's metrics and all that, they're in great shape metrically.
To host, yes, but they should not have moved up from. They were the 14 seed last week.
To 11.
That's crazy.
After losing a series. Again, Georgia's really good, all that stuff.
Kansas.
I'm surprised by that.
Kansas is the number 7 seed. No SEC teams in their regional. They are paired with the Conway Regional, Coastal Carolina. That's where Tennessee is as the 2 seed. And then your last set, Auburn is the 8 seed, the Auburn Regional, paired with Corvallis, Oregon State, the 9 seed overall.
Fascinating stuff.
It really is weird to see Ole Miss jump 3 spots in a week where they went 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. Like I said, the math ain't mathin', as the kids like to say.
Somebody says chances of hosting a regional. Southern Miss 85%, Ole Miss 55%, State 45%. Remaining schedules are far different for the three. Well, and you are correct.
You're correct, but Southern Miss's schedule is a detriment. They should win all of those games for sure, but their RPI will take some bumps along the way, especially if they drop any of them. State, on the other hand, plays 3 straight top 10 RPI teams. So as long as they aren't just getting swept, they're going to be fine. 16 wins and they're hosting. There's no doubt in my mind. They need to go. They have 9 games remaining in the SEC. Well, technically 10 if you count tonight, right? If they can find a way to win 4, they're in the discussion to be the 8 seed. Mm-hmm. But even at 16 and 14, they would be one of the hosts.
Ole Miss, as much of a lock as you can be.
Yeah, and Ole Miss, kind of the same thing. I don't know Ole Miss's schedule. I know they have Arkansas. Who does Ole Miss have?
A&M and Alabama.
And Ole Miss is 10 and 11? 11 and 10?
11 and 10.
11 and 10. They need to get at 4. People have been saying that at 14 and 16 they could still host. They might be like the 16th seed.
Their magic number is 4.
Yeah.
4 more wins.
But their RPI is just too good to ignore. That Missouri State series continues to really carry a lot of water for them. Yeah, someone said, that's a good point. D1 did not take LSU out. LSU took – sounds like Vince McMahon. Like, I didn't screw Bret Hart. Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. Yeah, LSU screwed LSU.
Somebody says it's because it's a projection. That's why they moved up. But it still makes it – it's still a little odd.
Well, I understand that it's just a projection. But last week you were projecting them 14th. They lost 2 games. They moved up. Explain why they project higher now.
Yeah.
Like last week, Ole Miss was one of the hottest teams in the country. This week, they've lost 2 out of 3.
Yes.
So I don't. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, that doesn't make sense.
An interesting weekend too. Fayetteville is traditionally not an easy place to play. As winnable of a series in Fayetteville as
you'll ever get.
As there could be.
Go back and look at State's series there. State could have easily won that series. They made some mistakes. That was back when I could have told you with confidence that every one of State's losses was State's fault and not that the other team was just beating them that day. And they could have probably gotten 2 out of 3 pretty easily, but they didn't.
And if Ole Miss is back at full strength too, if Foley and Federico are back in the lineup as expected, I think, then you have a real chance at going up there and getting 2. And if you go up there and get 2, that 11th in the regional projection, that turns into 9 or 8. I mean, you can really move up into the national seed conversation if you go up there and get a series win this weekend. But A&M and Oxford will not be easy. Alabama and Tuscaloosa will not be easy. That is life in the SEC, though. It's not easy unless you draw Missouri.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. Missouri is like the only, and even Missouri is better this year. They've won some games. They've been in a lot of games. They've had some opportunity. Missouri is probably 2 or 3 runs away from having 6 or 7 wins and being ahead of LSU even. Oh.
How many wins? How many?
5 or 6 wins. 6 or more
I can't escape
wins.
it. If I can't escape it, you're not allowed to escape it.
I was thinking about that today. I'm hearing it less and less.
It is starting to run its course.
You know why? Because we got hold of it. The old guys. We're doing it now. So now it's not longer.
Well, when you go to it, we went to the golf tournament this weekend, and I mean the 6 and 7 are everywhere at a golf tournament. I mean,
you can't avoid it.
You cannot avoid it. So I had a hard time keeping them contained when we would walk the course, and there'd be a big tower with the TV camera and the number 6, and then you look beyond it, and there's the number 7, or you pass the scoreboard, and somebody shot a 67. We'll be back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
From theSeabrook.com.
If it's sports in Mississippi, you'll hear about it here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
You like this show, huh? Yeah!
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Got this on the text line. Mark Etheridge was there for the doubleheader. He must have come away impressed. That's why we talked yesterday a little bit about. I couldn't quite figure out how to feel about Ole Miss's series loss to Georgia? Because, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Whatever cliche you want to use, you can use that when talking about that series. Ole Miss, blew an opportunity against Georgia. They should have won, but they were so incredibly close to winning that series and continuing their momentum. So you're right. Maybe, simply put, Etheridge was there and was like, those two teams they're so similar, so close. I don't want to punish one because of a series that was that close and a doubleheader that went, one team won and then the next team won in 14 innings. Maybe so. Again, I don't think my opinion's changed about what Ole Miss's ceiling is after last weekend. I'm not hitting the panic button and, oh, no, they're bad. This team sucks because they lost one series by one run. Well, I guess it was two. But one series because of a 14-inning game against one of the best teams in college baseball. I have no reason to panic at all.
Great.
So they should still be on the right side of the hosting bubble. Our take was just surprised that it was number 11 after a series loss.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Ole Miss, assuming they don't fall apart here in the final few weeks of the season, will host an Oxford Regional. But you understand, it would be the same thing. Let's just make it a little easier, When Ole Miss lost to Georgia this year in football, if they had moved up in the playoff rankings the next week, you would have been like, what the heck happened? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And that's all we're saying here, is that it just doesn't make sense. Keep them there at the 14 seed. That's fine. Nobody sneezes as that. But to move them up 3 spots in a weekend where they lost 2 games is just weird.
All right, a couple of just random news things that popped up today. So we had the NFL draft. Obviously, that happened. But now there's another free agency period. I don't understand exactly how this works. For whatever reason, after the draft, there is another free agency period where if you lose a player, you don't get the compensatory draft picks. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why teams wait until now. I don't understand that part of it. I just know that it exists. So you have another round of free agency that happens, and the Saints picked up a former Bulldog today, Martin Emerson, coming off of an Achilles tear, but apparently he is progressing quite well. Went to New Orleans on a visit and checked out physically by the Saints. They went ahead and signed him, and most Saints people think that they signed him with the expectation he will be a rostered member of the team, CB3, if you will, the third cornerback for this team.
Well, this is a guy, Emerson, was good his first couple of years in the pros before he had this injury. So if he's back 100%, I think he can absolutely be a contributor for that Saints secondary. So always glad to see, former Bulldogs end up being Saints. It makes my rooting interest a lot cleaner.
Real quick, somebody says, did you geniuses ever think that some other teams may have lost to bad teams? We didn't think of that.
Well, who are those teams? Who in the top? Who ranked ahead of Ole Miss lost bad games this weekend? A&M took 2 out of 3. Texas took 2 out of 3. Georgia Tech won their series. UCLA hasn't lost a conference game all year. So I know Coastal Carolina won their series. Auburn won their series. And who lost in front of Ole Miss that would have dropped them down? I mean, if anything, should Mississippi State be ahead of Ole Miss? I know in the RPI, Ole Miss is ahead, but State has 3 head-to-head wins with them and has more wins overall and swept last weekend. Like, what are we talking about? But we appreciate you calling us geniuses, though.
Yeah, and see, this person's right, too. Now, you're thinking of rankings and not regional projections, but you are correct here. Correct me if I'm wrong, I may well be, but didn't Ole Miss stay in the same spot after sweeping LSU at home? There was no reward for that. This feels like the universe leveling itself out. That still makes no sense. You're exactly right. I was flabbergasted. That
was weird.
The D1 rankings did not move.
That was the
Ole Miss
rankings,
up at all.
not the projections.
But still.
It was weird, though, yeah.
And LSU was ranked going into that series.
LSU was ranked 3 weeks ago.
That was also
you know what?
stupid.
I don't get them right all the time, Michael Borkey. I do not get them right all the time. I'll be the first one to tell you. But, buddy, when LSU was losing those games in the midweek, Who was on this radio show saying something's not right? And people on a text line, and look, those guys at D1 and Baseball America, they know a lot more than me. I would never say they don't, but they missed on this one. They didn't take those midweek losses seriously. They kept saying, well, they'll be fine on the weekends. And then when they lost to Sacramento State 2 out of 3 on the weekend, they wrote that one off as well. And now look at them. They're 6-15 in the conference. They're not any good.
At no point have they been good, to be honest with you.
No. So I don't know if I mentioned this or not last week, but I did an interview with Cokie Riley from The Advocate. So LSU started off 8-0, which means since that day, they are 16-21 now. They've gone from 8-0. They won 8 of their first. They won their first 8 games. Since then, they are 5 games under 500. That's what LSU baseball is right now.
Somebody says, you two guys are the smartest people I know. I am certainly not.
First off, sir,
I am not.
I don't believe you actually. We don't know you.
Also,
who are you?
You don't know, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. You don't know anybody if that is the case.
Yeah,
you know 0 people.
Literally, you know 2 people.
And it's us.
Yeah. Have you been locked in a room this whole time, sir? Or ma'am? We don't know.
So he says if the weather holds and there's no lightning, they may start on time tonight. Yeah, lightning is the thing. It appears that will delay this game. But they're playing baseball tonight.
It appears that way.
They're going to play the game tonight.
Good for them.
Let's see. UCLA is good, no doubt. I saw the game with State. However, UCLA's conference is not that good overall. How does that not hurt UCLA? Because they don't lose.
Because they haven't lost. Yeah, if they had a loss, it would hurt them. But they have literally not lost a conference game. So you can't ding a team that wins every game it plays in conference. You just can't. And they've proven it elsewhere. Like you said, they beat Mississippi State. They beat Tennessee. Did they beat Texas? They did beat Texas A&M. They have 2 losses on the season. Is that correct?
I think you're correct.
I mean, they've just been rolling all year long, and there seems to be no stopping them. They're a little bit of a wagon. Yeah, they're 39-4.
That's insane.
So, I mean, the next, you've got some good teams. I mean, but Georgia Tech is 36-7. Texas is 32-9. They're 39-4, and they're undefeated in conference play. If I'm correct, I don't believe they've lost a conference game. Yeah, they're 21-0. They do have one. They have some bad losses. They have a couple of quad 3s and a quad 4. They lost in the midweek, but other than that, they're really good.
Dwight mentions Florida State. They got swept this weekend. Alabama as well. Alabama's an interesting case, though. I know, again, they lost a series to Tennessee this weekend. Mm-hmm. Metrically, they're 7th in the RPI. Their strength of schedule is 2.
And they dropped.
Have 13 quad 1 wins, which is tied for the most in the country, and D1 dropped them out of their hosting.
Right. So, again, it's like one of those things.
Help me out there.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Why would Ole Miss go up and Alabama drop that far? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, we're not. Here's the truth of the matter.
We're just looking at having.
We're looking at projections here. It will all work itself out. When we get to the projections, will there be one regional where you're like, I don't know about that, right? But chances are, by and large, of the 16 teams that get seeded as the host, we will agree with 15 of them. And the one we don't agree with will just be like, they're probably a little too high or too low, right? It'll be somebody who's like the 12 seed, and you're like, they could have been the 10 seed or the 9 seed. That's all it is.
And Dwight says, because they're 10-11 in the SEC, a losing record isn't hosting. I wouldn't quite.
No, I disagree with that. A 14-16 Alabama with who does Alabama have left on the schedule here?
Here's my follow-up.
Alabama
question.
finishes up with they do have South Carolina, right, and Vanderbilt. So those are games. Alabama's not a really good example here because they should win these games. If they lose to Vandy and to South Carolina, those are RPI hits for sure. Yeah. Ole Miss is a different story though. Ole Miss is currently 11-10. If they win, let's say they win one game this weekend, one game next weekend, one game against Alabama, and they finish 14-16, they're probably still hosting.
There's a legitimate argument for
they might be the 16. So. They might be the 16 and have to go to UCLA, but they would almost certainly host because their RPI is still going to be in the top 12 probably.
I don't like the. It's hard to formulate an opinion on that part of it because a losing record in conference, should that be one of the 16 host sites? It doesn't happen.
If you're Ole Miss and you've played 10 series against, LSU, and at the time you thought they were going to be really good, but 9 of your series will be against ranked teams.
Yeah. But do they look at that and say, can't do it? It doesn't happen, so we're not going to make it happen here. Or if you're going to do a merit-based selection, do you have to just ignore that and do the right thing and give the 16 best teams a host site?
I think you have to give the 16 best teams.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. We'll be back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
What we're going to do right here is go back.
And now back to the sports. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
So let's get rolling
on Super Talk Mississippi.
They did it. They did it. The NCAA did it. The thing that nobody asked for. One of the few things in sports that is chaotic and just fun and interesting. And it's not dead, but it was nice and uniform. The NCAA tournament, right? It made sense. You had a perfectly shaped bracket. It was just pure. Pure it is no more. The NCAA is going to expand the NCAA tournament. They have officially decided, they've initiated the final steps, I guess is the technical term, to expand the men's basketball tournament and women's, which, sidebar, the women's tournament most definitely does not need to expand. The depth of quality teams in the women's game is just fact. Is not there to expand the tournament. It is far less necessary in the women's game than the men's game, and the men's game doesn't need it at all. But both tournaments are expanding from 68 to 76 now. This is what's so frustrating to me. When we have the conversations about save college sports and all that stuff, Clay Travis, those kind of people, oh, we need Congress. Congress, come here, save us, Congress. This is who they want to remain in charge. People that make these decisions that better nobody. Nobody wants this. Nobody asked for it. It doesn't improve the tournament. It only makes it worse. It makes the regular season worse. It makes making the tournament feel less impactful. And even something as simple as the bracket that you fill out in your office or with your family, it doesn't even look or feel the same. Nobody wants this, and yet they're doing it anyway.
So we were talking on the break, and I say, you know, there's so much. We got to move. We got to expand the tournament. We got to have 76 teams. Blah blah blah. Notice there's not any push to do this for baseball. Now why? Now why do you think that is? Because there's no money. There's no $1 billion contract for the NCAA baseball tournament. There's no ratings bonanza for the College World Series. So yeah, it's fine. Whatever you want to do. 64 teams. We don't care. Whatever. But because there's some extra TV money to be made here, I'll tell you one thing right now. If I'm Keith Carter and if I'm Zach Selman, this goes through, I'm calling Chris Beard and I'm calling Chris Jans, like, if you don't make the tournament, you're fired.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a novelty thing anymore. You have to make the tournament.
Yeah, like, state, think about Jans, right? Play-in game, 8 seed, okay? So, on the bubble the first year, next couple years, they were solidly in the tournament, but they weren't anything, it wasn't a super special season or anything like that. Now, 76 teams get in. You better be one of them if you want to keep working at Mississippi State and at Ole Miss. That's what I would say.
There is a threshold that you cross that can ruin the regular season. Mm-hmm. College basketball already has a regular season that has a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
A lot of meaningless action. Now, because of the programs in this state not being, Duke and Kansas, we have more meaningful regular season games here than Duke and Kansas do.
Right.
However, basketball season can already be a slog because of the postseason. you're only making it worse. You are crossing the threshold. 64 was a perfect number. You add 68 in the play-in games that, well, by God, the ratings are good because gamblers are watching, not for any real value. And now going to 76. College football can do that too. 12 has not ruined the regular season. 16, I don't think will ruin it, but it
24 gets you there.
24 crosses the line.
Yeah.
Cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Friend of the show, Barrett Saleh, says it best. Nobody hates college sports more than the people who run college sports. They really do hate it. I've come to this conclusion that people like Charlie Baker, Greg Sankey, Tony Batiti, I think I've mentioned this, if we told them, look, we're not going to play any more games. You'll still get your salaries, still going to get your billion-dollar contracts and all that, but there literally is no product. We're just going to give you the money. They would say, cool. They would say, absolutely, that's exactly what we should do. Is there any way we can get more money for having less games? They just do not give a crap about us, the fan. They do not care.
I will never forget Greg Sankey's answer to my question at SEC Media Days when I said, hey, the in-game experience is getting worse. We hear from fans all the time that these are 4-hour games with an unbelievable amount of downtime, and fans, they just simply don't like it. Are you exploring ways to shorten the break time in football games? And his answer was basically, no, y'all don't matter. We're not doing that. That's not even a thought in the league office. His response was, we're not considering it.
There was a really good article yesterday from Awful Announcing about how pregame shows are not for sports fans anymore. Pregame shows are for people who have other interests, who might want to watch this other show, like wrestling. We talked about that a few weeks ago. But you have, when MLB did opening day on Netflix, Bert Kreischer's out there. He's not even a Giants fan, I don't think. Why was he there? But because he attracts viewers. So shows like this that are about sports for sports fans, we're becoming fewer and fewer.
We'll be back after the news.
Communication system is a go.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Exactly.
All right, we got a starting lineup for Mississippi State as we are getting closer and closer to first pitch over in Pearl at the Governor's Cup. Garrick Fry will lead things off for the Bulldogs. He's at second base. Ace Reese, as you can imagine, batting second and playing third. Noah Sullivan's your third-place hitter. DHing. Blake Beavis staying in the lineup. He's the first baseman. Jacob Parker batting fifth, playing right field. Bryce Chance is in left. He'll bat sixth. Aiden Teal is in center. He'll bat seventh. Kevin Malewski behind the plate, batting eighth for the Bulldogs. Drew Wires gets a start at shortstop, and he will bat ninth. So that's 2 games in a row. Ryder Woodson has not gotten the start for Mississippi State. Just been in a slump, both offensively and defensively. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, the right-hander Brendan Sweeney, the transfer from South Carolina, draws the start for Mississippi State. So that's college baseball, but it's 5 o'clock. It's time for the college football fix.
Sorry, I'm still so pressed about this NCAA tournament thing.
You gotta focus.
I'm furious.
You gotta focus.
This is so stupid.
It is stupid. Well, what's not stupid is the best-selling truck in America, the Ford F-150. Your Mississippi Ford dealers bring you the college football fix each and every day here on Sports Talk Mississippi. Right now, if you're looking for a new truck, I'll make it real easy for you. There's only one place to shop. Your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's going to be all right.
Nobody asked for this. Not one person asked for this. But you're exactly right, though. The pressure on Jans and Beard next year is different. Because it's not like they expand the tournament and then add more auto bids. It is just the 8 teams that were the last 8 teams out are going to get in now. So Auburn, 1 game above 500 would have gotten in last year. Wasn't Indiana also 1 game or 2 games above 500?
That sounds right, yeah.
Overall, they would have gotten in. I mean, when you're at 76 teams with, Well, I mean, I'm not a math guy. There's 32 auto bids, right? Isn't there 32 leagues?
That's correct. I think you're right.
So 44 at-large bids. If you're not one of them, it is inexcusable. Even at a place with no basketball history and all that stuff, it's inexcusable to miss the tournament moving forward.
100%. 100%. Now, what that has to do with college football, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I cannot get past it. So this news happened over the weekend. Oddly enough, it was just a few hours after Meet the Rebels Day. But Ole Miss transfer offensive tackle Carius Kern was arrested in Arkansas. But that legal matter has already been – it's already over. It's already done. Per court records, this is from our good buddy Michael Katz, the 2 possession charges and improper passing charge against him will not be pursued. So prosecutors in Arkansas decided not to pursue the case. Essentially, charges were dropped there. He paid a fine for reckless driving, fleeing, and speeding. Paid a fine of just over $2,000, no sentences, nothing like that. Pete Golding.
Is that a big fine? That feels like a big fine. $2,000?
I mean, one of them is fleeing.
I guess, fleeing, yeah.
But the legal process already done, taken care of. Pete Golding was asked about it yesterday before this happened, and his answer was essentially, legal process, going to let that play out before I make a decision on what to do about it. What you hope this becomes, I mean, it's April, and it's obviously a stupid thing to do. This is a player that has a talent ceiling that is very, very high. And apparently is far away from that ceiling. And I'm dancing around it a little bit, just has not impressed so far.
Right, he's a 5-star kid coming out of high school, and we haven't really seen it yet.
And like, early returns on coming in just has not been impressive. You hope that this is a wake-up call for the young man.
Yeah.
That, hey, you are too talented and you have too bright of a future to be doing dumb stuff like this. And you hope that, some of the veterans in the locker room, and now that you've got Terrence Metcalf in the building, obviously former NFL guy, Dante Moncrief in the building, former NFL guy, and you can lean on those guys to sit him down and say, hey, you have the stuff to play in the league, not when you do stuff like this. And yeah, it's all cleared up now, and the charges were dropped, and all that stuff. But if you want to play in the league, number one, you've got to practice better. You got to be better there, and it dealt with injury and stuff during the spring, I think. But your talent ceiling's too high to be this dumb, and hopefully you figure it out. Because tackle's a big question mark for Ole Miss. I mean, they've got Trez Davis from last year's team still there. Kinsler from Miami transferred in, but not a lot of experience there. Hopefully he figures it out. He's too talented to keep doing dumb stuff like that. So hopefully he figures it out, and this is a wake-up call.
Let's hope. Rivalry aside, one thing I always say about crimes, they come back, they're always cyclical. I'll get there eventually. So when you're a State fan, you're like, oh, that Ole Miss guy got arrested. All you're doing is setting yourself up. Your guy will get arrested. One of your guys will be arrested. I think I said it best when I created the definition of crimes for the Six Packs Peak message board, which is crimes are the thing where if they happen to your team, those kids were misunderstood and they just need to get a little love on them. And if they happen to the other team, those guys should be thrown into the jail. So, best of luck to this young man. Hopefully, he gets his life back in order.
Larry says, if the charges were dropped, how do you know he did anything? Because he paid a fine for the reckless driving, fleeing, and speeding.
Yes. Always say, if the punishment for a crime is a fine, then it's legal as long as you're rich. Or in this case, as long as you just have the money. Yeah. But if I can do something, it's like, what's the punishment? It's a fine? Oh, well, I've got that money. That's why Richard Cross has no regard for the law. Yeah. It's like, I break whatever laws I want. I just get fined.
I love messages like this. If this kid was an LSU player, you guys would bash LSU and Lane Kiffin for such a player.
Absolutely would. 100% correct.
I love how if this thing that didn't happen happened, you would feel this way, and I know it.
Why would I do that? I'm far more likely to bash this kid in this situation, am I not?
If LSU has one player get arrested this offseason, I will say, well, that player's dumb. That was a dumb thing. There's 100 guys on a football roster. No coach can control them all.
Yeah.
Unless you're at a service academy.
Yeah.
Even then, service academy guys transfer out because they can't crack it.
Right.
So no, I wouldn't do that if it was one player. If it was a dozen players, then you would be like, oh, something's wrong down there. That's not good. There's a problem. When you have a player in an offseason get arrested, it happens. Guys between the ages of 18 and 22 sometimes do dumb things and get arrested. I've got friends, good friends, loving fathers, functional members of society that got arrested in college. It does happen. When you've got 24 of them getting arrested over in Athens, you have to wonder. But no, I would not be bashing LSU. If they have one player get into a legal situation, no, that's just part of the deal. It just happens. It's unfortunate, but it
once
just
again,
happens.
I'd like to point out, why would I be less likely to bash him now? I want to know what the answer to that question is. Like, the guys at Ole Miss, if ever I'm going to bash, this would be the time. So, I don't know.
I don't know either. But that is a position that we will talk about all offseason. I mean, you look at this Ole Miss roster with the returners and the quality of players they added in the portal, every other position group looks great. And I'm not saying that tackle won't be good also. I just, that is the one where you don't know. So little experience at the tackle position compared to every other one. I mean, even linebacker, you brought in transfers, but look at how experienced the transfers are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have at least two safeties that came from somewhere else, but look at how experienced they are, et cetera, et cetera. Wide receiver, same thing.
Yeah.
Tackle is the only position where it's like the guys that are going to start have, I mean, a handful of starts under their belt, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Carius Kern sounds like he should be a character from Gladiator. Just want to point that out. So I just felt like I needed to mention that. If you told me that Maximus defeated Carius Kern in that second battle, if he was the guy in the tiger mask, I would have bought that.
Yeah. 601-879-4395. I still can't get past this.
Not a fan of Gladiator? What's going on?
No, the second one was not as good.
I haven't seen the second one. I've heard it was not good, so I didn't waste my time. I didn't want to tarnish the legacy of Maximus Decimus Meridius.
It's not bad, though. It's just not.
So is it a good bad movie or a bad good movie?
A bad good movie.
It's like it's got the bones to be a good movie,
right, and
but it doesn't get over the hump.
And you've got to measure it up against the first
Isn't Denzel
one.
in it?
Yep.
That's weird that he would put out a stinker. Doesn't happen very often.
I think if it existed on its own,
yeah,
it wouldn't be a problem. Mm-hmm. But because you're measuring it against a directly comparable film,
right,
it comes up short. That's your college football fix driven by 4. Not a whole lot in the college football world news-wise, but yes, the legal matter for Carius Kern is done, finished. But we'll see what kind of punishment he may face internally. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Do you ever get so excited that you just can't wait?
Yes! Sports Talk Mississippi. Covering your Mississippi teams.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Don't touch that dial! Here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, he's Brian Hadad. Glad that you guys are with us. 1/5 of all Division I basketball programs will make the postseason tournament now. 21% of all the over 300 Division I basketball programs will make the tournament.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's too many.
It's too many. I mean, like we said, that maybe not by the end of the season, but like 2 or 3 weeks left in the season, as bad as State and Ole Miss were, they would have been on the bubble for a 76-team tournament. Like that game in Oxford that State won would have been like, that's big for State's tournament chances at that point. That's not what we want.
Where do you think the football one ends?
Probably 24. There's just too much money.
Now, if they go to 24, the conference championships are definitely going away.
Yes.
They are currently examining the economics of would the conference championship going away lose more money than the additional playoff games make, which is an interesting thing that they'll have to project because you can't know for sure, but they're going to have to project that out.
They will figure that out. The money, the conferences will not. I promise you this. Here's one thing I can guarantee. I don't promise it to you. I guarantee it. The conferences aren't going to sign a document that has them lose 1 penny of money. If their revenue is 1 cent less than what it is right now, no, we got to go back to the negotiating table. Absolutely not. So don't worry, Michael. I know that's a big concern of yours. I know you don't want to worry about I know you go to bed at night and you're like, oh God, the conferences might lose revenue. I know that's what keeps you up at night. Don't worry about it. I promise you, Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti and all those guys, they're not giving up a single thing. In fact, if anything, they'll probably have more meetings at exclusive hotels.
They'll just keep cutting programs and act like it's your fault or whatever.
Exactly.
I did read something. So Arkansas cut their tennis programs, obviously. They were losing $2 million a year, and that's a sad deal.
Yeah.
But I read a commentary on that where it was you might see tennis in particular be the program that is on the chopping block, not necessarily because of money, because like D2 programs and stuff are cutting their tennis. Because none of the there's no Americans on these teams.
Very few. Yeah. Now you got me curious. Let's look.
Here, you do say, I think State only has 2 of their roster. I'll look at Ole Miss, though.
So Mississippi State, number 5 seed in the NCAA tournament coming up, the Starkville Regional coming up for men's tennis. Let's look at their roster. Italy, Tennessee, Spain, Montenegro, North Carolina, Spain, Slovakia, Germany, Paris, France. So 2 no Mississippians and only 2 Americans.
Here is Ole Miss. France, Italy, Serbia, France, New Zealand, Italy, Germany, Sweden, Oxford, Mississippi.
Who is it? What's the guy's name?
Gordon Whitwell.
Shout out to Gordon Whitwell. Represent.
But so the thought was, why should American colleges be the farm system for foreign tennis players?
Yeah.
And I thought, that's interesting, and maybe they can't say something like that out loud. But what do you think it costs in recruiting to go get those players?
Yeah. I mean, what is a coach's visit to across the pond? I mean, I'm sure a lot of that's done via Zoom and everything, but at some point you do got to go watch them play. You got to go scout them,
Yeah, and so it was like, be on the lookout. The guy was like, hey, go look at your favorite college's tennis roster and tell me what you see. And it was like,
got me curious about Southern Miss now. Let's see what the Golden Eagles. All right, 20. Where's the roster? Here we go. Southern Miss, Germany, the Netherlands, Tulsa, Parrish, which is, I don't know, Parrish. Where is Parrish? Hold on, this can't be. This person, I'll be surprised if they're American. They went to the Florida Connections Academy. I mean, his name is Jose Marahu, though. I don't know. Look, man, if you're American, my bad, guy. Sweden, Illinois, India, Romania. I got to know where this is. Hold on. This person's listed as he went to Comenius College, Hilversum. Their hometown is Hilversum. Where is Hilversum? It's in the Netherlands. Okay. Okay. That's better.
Hilversum, Netherlands. Looks like a pretty town.
Yeah, it looks nice.
There's a castle there. And maybe that's not the right way to look at it. Maybe
I get what you're saying.
Makes sense. We'll be accused of something, but I look at that and it's like, what is the point, or what is the return on that? I don't know. Maybe it's valuable. I don't know that answer.
Marty says Americans are all playing pickleball now. Will school just replace these teams with pickleball? Can you imagine college pickleball?
Oh gosh, don't get me started.
Are you a pickleballer?
No,
I thought you got into it.
No, never played.
I got a friend who's gotten into it. She says it's great. She enjoys it. But the first 2 times she played, she nearly rolled her ankle. But other than that, she's fine.
Other than that. And the SEC does require, by the way, schools to have a minimum number of sports. I hope that continues. I don't want to see these go away. I don't want that. There's a lot of opportunities. But that was interesting.
Yeah.
The tennis programs in particular have athletes that are mostly
golf isn't that different, I don't think.
Here, let's do golf.
I remember a couple years State's women's team had a ton of internationals on it. Let's see here.
Ole Miss men's golf has only one international. He's from Sweden.
State has 2 from Germany and from France. What about the women's side? Women's golf, State has Portugal, Sweden, Netherlands, South Africa. So 4.
Wow, same thing with Ole Miss. The women's golf different, and there's and you're seeing that too in the women's professional game. There's not that many American women that are prominent in, but same thing here: Sweden, Mexico, Canada, Sweden, and then Tennessee and Georgia.
Okay, here we go. So Kevin Sweeney, you can follow him on Twitter as CBB_Central. Here's what the first 12 would have looked like last year. You ready? The at-large play-ins would have been Arizona State versus Cal, Oklahoma State versus Virginia Tech, Indiana versus Oklahoma, Auburn versus San Diego State. So there's your first mid-major, San Diego State, who's not really a mid-major in basketball. They were in the Final Four a couple years ago. SMU versus Miami of Ohio, and Texas versus NC State. Those games already happened. Those were the games that were actually the play-in games this year, those 2 games. So they would have remained in that area. And then you would have had automatic qualifier play-ins, which is just a disgusting phrase. Automatic qualifier means automatic qualifier. They should be in.
Yes.
But then you would have had automatic qualifiers between, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, so all of them are low mid-majors, right? Lehigh versus Prairie View, Queens versus LIU, stuff like that. So of the at-large teams that got in.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Ole Miss Sports Network.
He's swinging and miss! He struck him out!
Toddy.
You remember Omaha, baby!
This is Ole Miss baseball.
You can forget it because it's out of here! Showers in the outfield.
That was a rob job.
A towering shot to the wall. Back to back to back. First double play. And the Rebels are out of the inning. Strike 3 called. He got him on a high fastball. And the Ole Miss Rebels are your national champions.
This is Ole Miss Baseball on the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield in partnership with SuperTalk Mississippi Media. Our coverage of Rebel baseball begins with the Ole Miss Dugout Show, presented by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. And by Ford, Mississippi Ford dealers and the Ford F-150, official truck of the Ole Miss Rebels. The countdown is on to Ole Miss baseball. Let's go to the broadcast booth with the voice of the Rebels, David Kellum.
Tonight from
Pearl, Magnolia State rivals Ole Miss and Mississippi State are set to clash in the 45th Central Mississippi meeting of the Mayor's Trophy Governor's Cup Series. The Bulldogs and the Rebels are in the heat of the Southeastern Conference race, but will step away this evening and meet in the biggest non-conference game of the year. The Dogs traveled to Oxford in league play and got the sweep a month ago. The Rebs are looking for a little redemption here at Trustmark Park this evening. Hello, I'm David Kellum along with Brad Henderson, and we've got all the action coming up. But first, stay tuned with the Ole Miss Dugout Show. That's next on the University of Mississippi Learfield Sports Network.
It's 6:30 and the branch is closed.
Yep.
Free State on Tuesday, 9 in the first 2 games against Georgia. Managed to get only the 1 victory against Georgia this past week. Will be heading to Arkansas this upcoming weekend. The series is in Mississippi State's favor, 271-213 with 5 ties. Boy, that's horrible. 5 ties, kiss your sister, and it's Mississippi State. That ain't real good, is it? Mississippi State holds an 11-6 lead over Ole Miss in the Governor's Cup since it started being played at Trustmark in 2007. And this event started years ago in 1980. Jackson Mayor Dale Danks Jr. inaugurated the Mayor's Trophy game, and then in 2007 it became the Governor's Cup. Some interesting tidbits. 19 of the 44 previous games have been decided by 1 or 2 runs. The event has drawn now 262,004. That's 5,955 per game, which is amazing in itself. The Dogs ended a 5-game losing streak to Ole Miss in 2007. Ole Miss ended a 4-game losing streak to State in 2022. And it's amazing it's that many. In fact, there have been very few games where one team got to double-digit runs scored. So it's been very competitive through the years, and will be again. We do have a sample size to look at. Brad, Mississippi State came to Oxford, swept the Rebels early.
Yeah, they're a good baseball team, David. They just did everything a little bit better than we did. Obviously, if you go back and you remember, they were able to score 2 runs in the top of the 9th in game 1 to take a 1-run lead, and they ended up holding on to that. But it's always a good series. That they're swinging at a high level, come in hitting 313. They themselves have hit 76 home runs, and, as opposed to the Rebels 78. So obviously they're coming off a big weekend sweep with LSU. They got a lot of momentum. But you talked about it. It's a big game for both teams, not only from an RPI, but also, from postseason selection type stuff. So, it'll be all hands on deck tonight.
And we won this one last year 8-7 in front of nearly 6,000 fans. It took 10 innings to do it. 2 things of note. Austin Foley hit a big 2-run home run in the 9th, and then we got a single in the top of the 10th out of Hayden Federico, and he scored later on a base hit by Will Furness. The Rebels held on to win 8-7. And then Hudson Calhoun, who obviously won't pitch in this one, we don't anticipate, was fantastic as he worked the final 3 innings, struck out 7 in that stretch, and held State scoreless down the stretch as well. When we come back, we're going to look at this year's pitching matchup, and we'll do that in just a moment on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
The right field terrace isn't just a place, it's a vibe where the red and blue roar among home run showers, sending opponents into delirium and bringing the energy to Swayze Field. This Ole Miss tradition is brought to you by Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 49 years straight. Drive F-150, official truck of the Rebels, only at your Mississippi Ford dealer, based on 1977 to 2025 total sales.
Whether it is before you head to Swayze to watch our Rebs play or after the game celebrating a Rebel win, Funky's Oxford is where you want to be this baseball season. With 18 daiquiri machines, an expansive liquor selection, and Oxford's favorite pizza, Funky's is the place to bring your friends, family, and Fido. Rebels play away? We've got you taken care of with full coverage of the Road Rebs on our 15 TVs. From Oxford to Omaha, come hang out at Funky's to make the most of your baseball season.
Ole Miss baseball returns after a word from your local station. This is the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet is Mississippi's largest General Motors business elite dealer. We make it easy to maintain your fleet with over 100 work-ready vehicles available for your job site. Diesel, gas, trucks, vans, and service bodies. And we build to your business specifications. It really is easier with Rogers Dabbs Fleet. Call the Rogers Dabbs Business Elite Fleet Team today at 866-671-4226 or visit us online at rogersdabbs.com. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. Find new roads.
You already know that Madison Cellars is Madison's favorite place to buy wine and spirits since 1988. On Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center, Madison Cellars has a hometown feel with a big city selection. Do you have a question about which wine to serve with a certain dish? Call 601-856-0931 and let their knowledgeable staff help you find the perfect match. Find out more at madisonsellars.net or stop by today. Madison Cellars on Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center.
Back to our pregame show as Ole Miss and Mississippi State about to meet in the 2026 Governor's Cup presented by our friends at Farm Bureau. And, all the Rebel Stolen Bases game reminds you presented by our friends at Wade Incorporated. It's been serving Mississippi as your John Deere dealer since 1909 with 14 locations to choose from. Be sure to visit your nearest Wade Incorporated dealership for all of your lawn, small, and large tractor needs when it comes time to choose. Remember, nothing runs like a deer. Brad Henderson's pitching diagnosis. It's time for that. Brought to you by St. Dominic Hospital. Know your own vital stats with the online heart risk assessment. Visit stdom.com/healthyheart to get started. We're going to see Brendan Sweeney on the hill for State. They're the designated home team. Whoever hosts the regular season is the visitor when we get down here. He's a right-hander. He's 6'7", a senior from Edmond, Oklahoma. And he was at Edmond North High School. Went to South Carolina to the Gamecocks first as a junior last year. Made 23 appearances and 1 start and had 6 saves. He was at Blinn College and Eastern Oklahoma State College before that. So this is his 4th start. And he was the second of 4 pitchers used in Game 2 in Oxford that State won 6-1. He gave up the lone run as he worked the 6th inning and hit Reuter and Walt Furnace to open the frame before giving up an RBI single to Decker. His longest outing this year was his first, 3 2/3 against Hofstra. Last week, his last outing was actually against Georgia. He pitched a third of an inning 2 weekends ago. 3 hits, 3 runs earned. No walks, no strikeouts, 2 homers. He, on the year, Hindu has no record, 1 save, 6.46 ERA, and he's got a career 7 saves with a 7.75 ERA.
Yeah, this would just be his second start as a Bulldog, DK. And but you mentioned 6'7", big kid, 92 to 95 with the fastball. The slider will be in the low to mid 80s, and the changeup be in the mid to upper 80s. Changeup is his best off-speed pitch, and opponents hitting 259 against Sweeney, but you start diving into the numbers, left-handers hitting 320 against him, so right-handers only 212, so it just kind of tells you how good that changeup is. But obviously a challenge. We'll see what both teams decide to do as far as bullpen goes, because both teams got a huge series coming this weekend.
Yeah, we're in the heat of the race right now in the SEC. Owen Kelly goes for Ole Miss, a junior right-hander, 6'4", 220 from Belleville, Illinois. Pitched at Belleville East High School, and he also came to Ole Miss from another school. He was at St. Louis and was All-Atlantic 10 second team last year. Made 30 appearances in his time at St. Louis with 16 starts for the Billikens. Went 7-2 with 108 strikeouts as well. One of the things interesting about him, he's had a couple of 4-inning games against Memphis, and last week against Murray State, matching his longest outing. He's got a win over SEMO, a loss to Memphis at Memphis, and a win over Murray State, so 2-1 with a 3.04 ERA. He's given up 13 runs, but only 8 earned. We haven't played just great defense behind him. 24 strikeouts, 8 walks. His career record, 9-3 with a 4.26 ERA, 131 strikeouts, and he's making his 42nd career appearance, his 22nd career start.
Yeah, 4-pitch guy for the Rebels. Fastball be 90, 92. The sweeping slider be in the low to mid 80s. Cutter mid to upper 80s. Changeup will be in the low 80s. Opponents so far this season, David, hitting 256 against Owen Kelly.
So there you go. This past Sunday, Texas A&M took 2 of 3 from Florida, winning that series 2 out of 3. Jorian Wilson and Bear Harrison each hit a home run to pace the Aggies. Gavin Lyons got his 6th win in relief, going 3 scoreless innings for A&M. Texas beat Vanderbilt in 10 innings in Nashville 4-3. Texas took 2 of 3. Timo Becerra got a bases-loaded walk in the top of the 10th to put the Longhorns up, and that managed to do the deal. Auburn beat Oklahoma at Auburn in 8 innings with a run rule, 14-4. Auburn takes 2 of 3. Ethan Bingaman had the second ever 3-homer Southeastern Conference game in Auburn history. Kentucky won at South Carolina 9-5, but the Gamecocks took 2 of 3 as Kentucky salvaged one. Jace Tharnish and Caden Cloud each hit a home run. And Mississippi State knocked off LSU in Starkville 13-8 and swept the LSU Tigers. First sweep for State over LSU in 41 years. Ace Reese drove in 4 runs, included a 3-run home. Of course, the Rebels lost 2 of 3 to Georgia. Tennessee took 2 of 3 from Bama in Knoxville, and Arkansas took 2 of 3 at Mizzou. A lot of non-conference action. Let's check in with Dave Pulaski.
Yeah, DK, and a couple of games that are going on right now. One of them in Nashville, where Vanderbilt's in control against Middle Tennessee, up 9-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Commodores scoring in each of the first 4 innings in that contest. Meanwhile, Tennessee has jumped out to an 8-0 lead over West Georgia as they play in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Just underway at Founders Park between South Carolina and the Citadel as they conclude their 2-game series this season. They lost to the Citadel 8-3 on March 10th. They swept the Bulldogs last year, and they are 83-18-1 all-time against the Citadel at home are the Gamecocks. Meanwhile, weather, of course, playing a role in part of the Southeastern Conference so far today. Arkansas had their game canceled against Northwestern State. They're going to play the 2nd game of a midweek series against the Demons tomorrow. And Missouri and Southeast Missouri had their game canceled as well, as did Oklahoma and Texas Tech. That game was scheduled for the Frisco Rough Riders ballpark in Frisco, Texas. One final from earlier today, number 5 Georgia dominates Troy 11-1. They avenge an earlier season loss to the Trojans, losing 6-5 in 12 innings back in February. So, DK, I think they remembered the result of that contest as the Bulldogs keep things rolling.
Woo. No doubt. They got 35 overall wins. They're leading the SEC at 15-6. Texas A&M's 14-6. Texas 13-7. State is in 4th place at 13-8. Auburn is 5th at 12-9. The Rebels are tied for 6th place at 11-10. The latest polls are out. UCLA is number 1 across the board. North Carolina is number 2 across the board. Georgia Tech is in all but 1 poll. Texas is number 3 in the Baseball America poll. They're the highest in that one. We'll look at the rest of the polls later. Brian O'Connor's the head coach of the Bulldogs now. He is 8-1 against Ole Miss, 3-0 at State, 5-1. While at Virginia, head coach Mike Bianco, the winningest coach in Ole Miss history, is 45-58 against the Dogs, and we'll hear from him next on the Ole Miss State.
He really did, and really, developing into this role, and you've seen it, David. This role, starting, on a Tuesday or Wednesday night in the midweek, sometimes leads to bigger and better things. From a weekend starter to a big piece of the bullpen, and certainly it makes you feel good running a guy out that started in these midweek games and has some experience.
Hey, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Bianco, head coach of the Rebels, Ole Miss State. Coming up, we'll continue their pregame show shortly, the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Hey, Rebel fans. For more than 50 years, Mississippi Asthma and Allergies board-certified team of allergists has treated patients by identifying triggers and creating personalized treatment plans. Now with 8 convenient locations across Mississippi, including Oxford, we're right next door when you need us. Treating infants to adults and Ole Miss students. Find our clinic nearest you at msaac.com. Mississippi Asthma and Allergy, helping Mississippi live life to the fullest and allergy-free.
Hitting them long and touching them all.
Yes, sir, baby! That ball is out of here!
This is Ole Miss Baseball from Learfield.
We've sent that Rip Van Winkle guy to the dentist.
Hey, what? Hey, what?
And what's worse than a trip to the dentist? Your wife's paint project that you've put off. Let Seabrook Paint in Jackson and Ridgeland find that Benjamin Moore paint and a contractor that will get you back doing the important things in life, like grilling and watching sports. Seabrook, Benjamin Moore Paint, and a happy wife, happy life. Seabrook Paint in Jackson on Monument and in Ridgeland on West Jackson.
First down. Jack Hoffman here with Tico Steakhouse. My dad started the legacy in Ridgeland in 1989, and I've continued that legacy in Oxford. Whether you're craving a perfectly cooked steak, warm, friendly atmosphere, or a strong pour at the bar, we got a seat waiting for you. 2 locations, 1 legacy. Ridgeland off County Line and Oxford on the Square. The perfect place to celebrate with friends, family, or the special occasion. Come taste the tradition at Tico Steakhouse.
The Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Ole Miss Dugout Show. It's time now for today's starting lineups, brought to you by Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Governor's Cup showdown between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, just moments away from Trustmark Park in Pearl. Here's the lineup for the Rebels as the designated road team for this game. Dom Decker leading off and playing second base. Tristan Bessetta's in right field batting second. Judd Udemark is playing center field, hitting third. Will Furness in the cleanup spot at first base. Owen Pano's playing third base, batting fifth. Topher Jones is in left field, hitting sixth. Braden Randall, the shortstop, bats seventh. Colin Reuter's the catcher, batting eighth, and Daniel Pasella is the DH, batting ninth. Owen Kelly will be on the mound for the Rebs. He'll be opposed by Brendan Sweeney for the Bulldogs. We'll have the Mississippi State defensive alignment and the first pitch coming up next on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Today's starting lineups have been brought to you by Acmis Energy, your natural gas company. The first pitch is coming your way next as Ole Miss baseball continues right after these messages.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Play ball.
Swing and a miss! He struck him out!
This is Ole Miss baseball from Learfield.
You already know that Madison Cellars is Madison's favorite place to buy wine and spirits since 1988. On Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center, Madison Cellars has a hometown feel with a big city selection. Do you have a question about which wine to serve with a certain dish? Call 601-856-0931 and let their knowledgeable staff help you find the perfect match. Find out more at madisonCellars.net or stop by today. Madison Cellars on Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet is Mississippi's largest General Motors business elite dealer. We make it easy to maintain your fleet with over 100 work-ready vehicles available for your job site. Diesel, gas, trucks, vans, and service bodies. And we build to your business specifications. It really is easier with Rogers Dabbs Fleet. Call the Rogers Dabbs Business Elite Fleet Team today at 866-671-4226 or visit us online at rogersdabbs.com. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Toddy.
Do you remember Omaha, baby?
This is Ole Miss baseball.
You can forget it because it's out of here. Showers in the outfield.
That was a rock job.
A towering shot to the wall. Back to back to back. That's first double play. And the Rebels are out of the inning. Strike three called. He got him on a high fastball. And the Ole Miss Rebels are your national champions.
It's time to play ball. Today's play-by-play coverage of Ole Miss baseball is brought to you by C-Spire, official wireless provider of Ole Miss athletics. Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. By Ford, Mississippi Ford dealers and the Ford F-150, official truck of the Ole Miss Rebels. And by Regions, official bank of the SEC. Once again, here's the voice of the Rebels, David Kellum.
And welcome back to Pearl, Mississippi. Trustmark Park, home of the Mud Monsters, the Rebels, and the...
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.